Hello, we're live, I think. What's the story? We're back. I'm back after a month absence. A few things come up, bits and bobs. Me eye, life, coronavirus. No, I'm joking. We're here with our two buccos, John and Pat. Pat's going to be here in and out. His internet. Will he be here 1 minute? He'd be out the other minute. He could be in watching the rest of the Xbox live show the next, so we don't know what's going to happen. If you're joining us, welcome. This is Trop-cast episode 70. 70 episodes in. It feels like we've been doing this forever, but I love it.
Yeah.
How's the boys? How are you, John?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Just chilling, waiting for another podcast. We'll talk some games.
Yeah, talk games. Pat, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
How are you?
I hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm grand. You know, there's just nothing wrong with me. I got a bit of gaming in this week though. So
Did you?
That's a plus, so it is.
That's brilliant. We actually we have to send some love and some support out to our one of our co-hosts, Aidan. He's not well at the minute. He has a problem with his leg, and we're wishing him all the best. And hopefully he'll be back next week or whenever he can get back. But rest up and take your time. I think Ronan's gone looking at a car or something. Shall I go? He's on the tear. He's on the tear, really. We don't know. But we look forward to seeing them back next week. Suppose we always start off the show every week about what we're playing. I know what John's been playing because I've been playing it with him, but he's been playing other games too. So we'll start off. John, what have you been rocking?
Well, I suppose I'll start off quickly. I suppose you could probably talk about it a bit more as well. Myself and Paddy were playing a bit of Tarkov.
Yeah.
As usual.
Yeah.
Getting some quests done. We've been making some nice progress, myself, Paddy, and Jinx as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Helping us out. He's a good lad. He's a good egg, that Jinx.
Yeah, he's a great aim as well.
Oh, stop. He's insane. That's what we're saying. Jinx's whole thing is he'll call out something and he'll have it dead within like 2 seconds. He'll be like, BMC, dead.
Yep.
Oh, Scav's dead. So it's just funny.
Dead. Like the way Kim used to do as well. Dead.
Yeah, before I even turn around, Jinx hasn't killed.
Yeah.
But no, we're doing very well. We got through like a load of quests. I think from yesterday I went from level 24 to level 28.
Yeah,
so
it's unbelievable work.
That's crazy because it's good progress. Like,
I think I got up to level 25 as well for flying it.
But no, the Tarkov's been going good. But the other game I've been playing, and I got a nice bit into it, and I'm enjoying it very much, is Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima came out. Load of people are liking it. It's getting very good reviews, and it's warranted. It's very, very fun. It's very much the kind of game that I would enjoy. The kind of game I like.
It definitely looks like one of them type of games that you love anyway.
Yeah, open world. You have a load of stuff to do. Side quests. There's a main story you're doing. But it really comes down to the fighting mechanics, and it's like a mishmash of a load of different games. It's like, the way I would describe it is, it's a bit like, it reminds me of Shadow of Mordor, actually, mixed with like Sekiro, if that makes sense, because it's basically the Batman-esque, and obviously Batman, but you see, Shadow of Mordor for me was like the Batman Arkham series, but with swords. It was the same, attack, parry, dodge, roll, whatever, and you were in the middle of a circle of enemies. It's very much like that, but the fighting mechanics, the way you parry and stuff, it just reminds you of Sekiro. Now, it's not, the parry and all that isn't as advanced as Sekiro, where like you're breaking down your enemy's posture and you're trying to do that. It's not like that. Yeah. But maybe it's just the samurai aesthetic that makes.
Are the games very, 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 very similar, or is there a big difference?
It's not that much like Sekiro at all. It would be more like your typical, and I know it's not, but like it reminds
arcadey
me of,
style kind of.
Yeah, it reminds me nearly of an Ubisoft experience. Like it reminds me of a game where you have a map, you have a lot of stuff to do, you're uncovering stuff on the map by traveling. A load of side quests, a load of missions to do, a load of collectibles. But what makes it fun is just, I think, is the fighting mechanics and all the different techniques you can learn and all that. Like the fighting is so fun. Like you actually walk in. Sekiro is a kind of a game where you kind of fight people one-on-one. Whereas this one is more like you are in the center of the fight. All
Assassin's
these
Creed
lads-
style, as you said
Yeah,
yesterday to me.
all these lads are surrounded you, and you're basically like. But it does remind me a lot like, and I always say Shadow of Mordor more than Batman, but they're kind of the same idea.
Mm-hmm.
Where like you're kind of waiting to see like you could be attacking this
Counter.
guy. Yeah, you could be attacking the guy in the front, and then you're watching behind, and then you see like the red flash,
Yeah.
which means that you have to dodge. So you'll be attacking and dodge, or then you'll see the blue flash, whatever. So it means you can parry.
Yeah.
It's.
What about the story? How would you say it's a good? Much are you
Honestly,
into it?
I'm probably played about 10 or 11 hours of the game, and I haven't really done much of the main story.
Oh yeah, you're one of them. You're one of them guys. I never finished the game. The side quests were unreal. That's why he loves Tarkov, because that's what Tarkov is.
but like the side quests are really fun. Like all the side quests kind of have their own little like stories to them and stuff. So they don't seem like side quests for the sake of side quests. A lot of them, they kind of have their own little story that's going on, and there's side quest character stories. So like there's like. Okay, so there's the main story, and then there's like these side quests that are kind of like little side quests, but then there's these things called tales, where like it's like the tale of this character, and there's like you'll see 0 of 9, so you're actually following this character's story, and you're helping him out, and it progresses throughout the story as well. So like it's like a separate thing that you don't necessarily have to do, but it's good to get like backstory to these characters. And
because I'm definitely the opposite of that. I'd be like straight into the story, no side quests. It's not my fault you're here. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Let me get to the end of this.
No, it's fun, and you also like you learn like some of the side quests you'll get like good gear. Sometimes you'll learn stuff from side quests, from like new techniques and stuff.
Yeah. Is it RPG-esque, or like do you develop your characters as you go? Yeah.
You basically you don't level. So that's the thing. That's what's actually good about the game, is that you don't. You can upgrade your sword and stuff, so you do more damage, and you can upgrade your armor, so you do more. You take less damage, stuff like that. But you don't learn. It's not like you'll never really walk into an area where you're like, oh, these characters are like level 50, so like I can't fight these. It's more like you can pretty much take anyone on a bit
straight away.
Yeah, a bit Dark Soulsy like that. Like Dark Souls, you can fight anybody if you know your stuff. But this is like you learn techniques in this game. So like you learn like, oh, this technique is actually good against. Actually, what you do learn as well out of techniques are stances, and like some stances are good against people with spears. Some stances are good against people with shields. So you can be changing stances during the fight.
Yeah.
Although, having said that, the water stance, which is like the second stance you learn, which is supposed to be good against people with shields.
Yeah.
That's just good against everybody. So I basically picked the water stance, and I just kill everybody with the water stance. It's because I unlocked the third stance there. I unlocked the wind stance, which is supposed to be good against people with spears. And I was fighting them, and I was fighting that with the spear, and I was like, this seems about the same. And then I fought it out with a shield. And then they were like, oh, you should be using the water stance against the guys with the shields. It's like, well, sure, I'm just going to stay in the water stance. I just kill everybody with the water stance.
The electric stance is coming next to beat the water stance. My brother just messaged me going, you can download it now. You do the game share with him, so he's after buying it there. So I'm going to have it now to play.
Well, as you're saying as well with the story, Paddy, like for what I've played, I've heard a lot of people saying it's a bit of a cookie cutter story. Mm-hmm. But so far, I'm kind of enjoying it. Like this is literally like I'm going to say like the first 10, 15 minutes of the game, like literally when you start. This is no spoilers.
Yeah.
Like basically, you go the mongrels attack. This is literally the first scene of the game. The mongrels attack, and you're like you're samurais, and you get freaking wiped out because samurais are all about honor and all this, and they fight with honor. Where the mongrels were using sneaky tactics, and they completely they completely feck you up. And they kidnap your uncle. This is where I am in the game, and you're basically trying. They think they kill you. They throw you into a river, but you're still alive, and you are trying to kill the uncle. You're trying to save the uncle, and
you don't know what's gonna happen in the game. It could happen.
but you learn. That's why it's called Ghost of Tsushima. You learn that to beat the mongrels, you have to start using mongrel tactics. So you're the ghost. So you go against your own honor. So you go around and you be sneaky. And
so you're a ninja.
Kind of, but at the same time, you don't have to play like that.
Yeah.
A really good mechanic is you've got like two options. You could sneak into a compound and like kill everybody, or you can walk right up to the front gate and do this thing called a standoff. And like then you basically challenge like the guys like 1-on-1, and you fight them 1-on-1, and you can level it up. So first you can only do one person, but then you can do 2 or 3. So I've leveled up so I can kill like basically 3 people at the start of a fight if I time it correctly.
Yeah.
And then you basically just fight everybody. So you can actually do it like a samurai if you want to. I'm kind of 50-50. Sometimes I'll like do the standoff thing and then I fight everybody. Sometimes I'll start off with a standoff and then I'll kill everybody like at the front gate. And then because the game AI, you know, it's a game, some lads in the back will have not got a clue what's happened yet. So then I'll go into stealth mode and I'll kill everybody else.
But it's like that in any game. It's like you can you start off a stealth mission, and at the start you're all sneaking. At the end of it, everybody, you're taking the whole bloody thing on.
I will say the game lets you do both. Like, it's not like one of those games that when you get discovered, you're screwed. When you get discovered, it's like, right, time for badass mode, and then you get into like the Batman Arkham, you know, kind of.
Oh yeah, and then you jump in a little hay pile on the floor, and everyone disappears.
No, it's the typical. There is long grass.
Yeah.
Which is funny because like it's really like the way they've animated it. It's kind of really bare long grass. So like you're just blatantly there. Like even the top of your head is like poking out, and you're like, I can't see this guy. He's like a ghost.
Where did he go?
Or the whole thing, like if you hit, I know this is every game, but when you hit someone like with an arrow, but like you miss slightly and you hit them like in the chest and they don't die, and then you go and hide, and they go like, must have been the wind. Just go back and control it. You've got an arrow in you, dude. Just
an arrow stick out the side of your head. Oh, what was that?
Must have been the wind. But no, it's a very good game. You've played a load of games like this, but this is a very polished version of that, and it's the kind of game that I like. So I so far it's an 8 or a 9 out of 10 for me. But again, I'm not too far into it at all.
It's not too bad.
I do have to say though, on Just Cause Tsushima, it's amazing how many people are getting the photography mode and using it to its full advantage. Like that.
It reminds me of Red Dead 2 in the community, especially. There's a lot of people that Red Dead 2 came out, everybody was at that, and I haven't seen it since then, whereas everyone's using that mode.
Like, I think this is much bigger than Red Dead 2 in my opinion. My Twitter feed is literally just Ghost of Tsushima over and over again, and it's because the game looks so beautiful.
It's because, Pat, as well, and the good thing you brought it up, that's another massive thing in the game. They've made this extensive photo mode in it, so like you can do everything. Like you basically. You pause photo mode. You pause the game. You can put the camera anywhere in the scene. You can like rotate it. You can you can give it a roll. You can like change all the textures, all the saturations, all that. You can add particle effects into it, so you can have it like snowing. You can change the weather. You can change the time of day. So it could be a nighttime shot, and you can change it so that this is what would be in daytime if it was raining and if there was rose petals falling from the sky. And then obviously when you go out of photo mode, everything just reverts back to normal. So it's an unbelievably extensive photo mode. And that's not only because the game is beautiful, but because people actually love using it.
It's the Pokemon Snap of samurai games.
There you go. Gotta catch them all.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, fantastic game.
Fantastic. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Pat, what weird thing have you been playing this week?
Well, this week I've just been playing a lot of fighting games, so I got Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, which super fun game. The tag system in it is rather interesting. There's loads of ways you can use it, so it'll probably take a wee while to get the hang of that.
Yeah.
But played it for about 3-4 hours, and I enjoyed what I played so far. And then I jumped back into Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. And I've just been really online with that game and getting my ass handed to me by people who are so much better.
Do you think maybe your internet connection might be a massive like drawback for you?
Well, I see, but I can get good internet enough to like it's at max maybe 4 delayed frames. When
in a fighting game, though, come on now.
I know it's still
all
bad,
frames count.
Yeah,
I know. Like
one frame, you're dead.
But like compared to what I was usually getting, like I was getting like 15 to 20 delayed frames normally, which is awful.
Yeah, there's kind of a rumor going around that you have to block your mouth because if you show your mouth, there's too much movement on the camera and your internet goes down.
Did you start that rumor, Pat?
Don't tell anyone. I did.
But,
so more about Grumble.
Grand Blue it's a fantastic fighting game, but like at this stage, I haven't really played much online. So I went on. Everyone that you're finding at the moment is sort of really good. Like they're maxed out rank and everything.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting experience. It's like fighting a Bloodborne boss, but they adapt as you adapt. So it's it's something I think fighters
It's
have
not,
over
I think
everything
you're
else.
not fighting the AI. It's going to be kind of a human
So-
reaction. But it's
Yeah,
at
so,
least
like,
it's a
one
challenge
tactic
for
that
you.
could work. It is. It's an incredible challenge. Like I've like maybe 1 or 2 fights I won out of maybe like 50 to 100.
Yeah.
And these people are like really good, but you start to pick up on their movements, and you can start to put up a little bit of a fight.
Yeah.
And then you get to near the end with them, and then it's like you're getting there. You're getting a few wins here and there, which is it's just so much fun. So it is. There's
That's what
nothing out there that compares when it comes to fighting games like that.
Yeah. This is your favorite one so far?
It's very far up there, yeah, but it's close to Dragon Ball Fighter Z, I'd say.
Yeah.
Where like I really went into Dragon Ball Fighter Z, like I put hundreds of hours into it. But then I reached my peak. There was no further I could go. I reached my peak, and everyone else was better. I wasn't improving anymore.
I feel you.
That's
It's old age,
when
Pat.
it
Even
gets
though you're young,
depressing.
even though you're young
Start
enough,
talking about old age. My hairline's already receding.
it's okay, Pat. We have hair. No,
We do. That's the main thing.
we do. What else? That's fighting games constant, is it?
Fighting games. I played a bit
No
of Soul
Persona.
Calibur 6. Persona, I think that Persona sort of screwed me over for a while because like it was just so good. I didn't want to play anything else. There, like
Yeah.
everything else just looked purely inferior in every way. So I left it for like 2 weeks or so, and now back into fighting games and bloody loving it. So I am. It's just the best thing ever.
What was the next game after Dragon Ball Z Fighter? What was the next Dragon Ball Z game? There's another one.
There hasn't been Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, but it really wasn't a fighting game.
No, it was a story
more of
game.
a sort of RPG, sort of let's do the whole Dragon Ball Z story again in a fighting game.
Again.
Again. Yeah, but they had a few extra things added on, but like I didn't go near it because
I personally loved DragonAll Z when I was younger. Beautiful cartoon.
I love Dragon Ball Z too, but it has so many issues.
What, like the extensive episodes where they're just standing there doing nothing but talking crap and
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
like, it's-
Filler, like this
and,
show.
like,
But yeah,
even the new series of it is I don't like it at all. It's bad.
I haven't watched
It's
it.
so bad.
It's not.
Don't
You,
watch it.
you can only watch it on certain sites, can't you? You can't actually watch it on
I'd
normal
say
TV.
Crunchyroll normally has it, but
Crunchyroll,
if
yeah.
you're going to watch anything, just watch the movies that come out. They're actually pretty good quality.
I think I did watch one of them recently. Is there one where there was a god, something? Or some, I don't remember the name of it.
Beerus.
Yeah, I don't remember the
Yeah.
name. It was one of them.
Blue
My,
Cat-
one
I
of
think,
me,
I think Blue Cat Lad is his official name. Pat, you'll back me up on that, right?
Yeah,
Blue-
Beerus
Cat
is the god of destruction, and then there's like angels, which are like wisps, and that was Dragon Ball Z, god of destruction, I think. Is the name of
it's
the
definitely a franchise that's not
But,
going anywhere
yeah.
though. Beerus, Aaron says.
Oh,
Beerus.
No, it's Blue Cat Lad. Come on now.
Blue Cat. Yeah, Puar. You're thinking of Puar, so yeah, that can transform.
Battle of the Gods. You're definitely behind us, Pat, again, are you?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think
No,
you
it
are.
seems fine.
I don't know. When I feel like maybe I'm wrong.
Jeez, you weren't here. You weren't here last week, but he was a good 5 seconds behind. You seem fine to me, Pat. I'm used to you being like, yeah. Well, you see, but I was going to say real quickly there. If you really want to get into Dragon Ball Z, but you don't have the time, get into the Team 4-star abridged version.
Yeah, the Dragon Ball Z abridged.
Yes.
The comedy one. It's fucking hilarious.
I always hear about that popping up. People do love that series.
They're brilliant. I've watched them all.
Fantastic.
It'd be great. It is a good idea, isn't it, to take the piss out of it? There is so many moments you could actually take the piss out of that show because some of it was ridiculous. The length the episodes and like series went on was unbelievable, and they stretched them out so much. Like just pull it a little bit longer. They're going to fight someday. You're going to fight someday. I swear to God. And the bad guys always killed like the smaller guys, and then eventually, you go on for hours about it.
It's just they're great because the whole concept is that Goku is an absolute idiot, and you're nearly always nearly siding with the villain because he's annoying them so much by how much of an idiot he is. Him and Frieza, just how much Frieza hates him just because of how much of an idiot he is. It's just
myself, I've only been playing. What did I play? So I've been playing some bit of F1. Jumping in that F1 2020. It's a beautiful game, very challenging game.
Tournament, are you?
No, I'm not going to enter. No, I'm not going to enter. I couldn't do it. I'd take all. I can't be the champ of the Republic. It just can't happen. It's just against the rules.
And you're too good of an announcer as well.
That's too good of an announcer. Too good looking. It's just.
I know the way.
Yeah. Can't be done. Can't be done. It's sure. Tell me about it. I'll tell you about it. You tell me about it. Tell me I'm pretty, Ted. Tell me I'm pretty. No, but it's definitely a difficult game. I've been playing it without the assists on, like doing it in manual and trying to learn the game. There's a lot of assists you can play on it. If you play with the assists, it's definitely a lot easier than without, obviously. But it's hard. You go online then and you get your ass handed to you, as the same as the fighting game. I jumped in a couple of online raids. I said races with Ronan and that, and they're a lot better. But it takes a lot of time to get into the real races with real people, to see how well you're doing. But I enjoy it. I will be playing more and more just to learn mechanics better. So like when I'm talking about on the streams where we're doing the tournament in 2 weeks, it's starting Sunday week. I think there's 12 entries so far. We're looking for 20. It's €20 to enter. Which is a bit of money, but it's over 10 weeks, and winner is going to come out with a good cash prize. It's going to be first, second, third, and construction championships. I've had a bit. You should have seen that. I put it on Facebook a good few places. I've been called a con man. I've been called everything going because as someone said to me, "Why would you put money into something you could play for free?" I was like, "That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life." Like it's just like no one's forcing you to. You know what I mean? Back off a little bit. And then I had to do there, you don't know who I am. Spiel.
Do you know who I am?
I made the BBC. 30 ages. How did that change that thing? Everything messed up. I've been flat out in Tarkov as well this week. I kind of picked up the pace. I was slow at the start, but I picked it up now and started doing quests and getting into it, watching the series by Pesley online, which is brilliant, and diving massively into it. And it's very enjoyable. I did play a bit of COD last weekend as well. I do like diving into COD at the weekend with a couple of mates, and it's good. It's good fun. But mostly Tarkov. But I will be playing either Ghost or I have to play The Last of Us 2. But I'm afraid to play The Last of Us 2 in case it ruins The Last of Us 1. But I will.
I'm going to say no spoilers, Paddy. There's some weird decisions in it. I still, but the gameplay is really fun. Yeah. I still give it a 7 out of 10, and it's the gameplay that holds it up a lot for me. But they did make a few weird storyline decisions, and that's all I'm going to say. Yeah,
but that's it. Well, that's why I'm kind of afraid to play it, is because I love the game so much. The first one is it's one of my favorite games, to be honest. And I don't like, when you're afraid then that they're going to ruin the characters and ruin thing and ruin, and you just leave it where it is and just let it sit. But I will play it just because I said I would. I bought it as well for actually it was bought for me, which makes it worse. But it's either Ghost or The Last of Us. I've been playing either one, dive into any I have barely played any storyline games this year, which I said I would, but I didn't. We'll go into we'll jump in the news, sure. Unless you guys have something else you played.
No, that was pretty much it. Ghost and Tarkov for me.
The news this week it's not been great this week. It's been pretty. Thank God the Xbox thing happened today because there's not been much happening in the old gaming world. There was a big speed of it for a while, but I suppose the whole world has slowed down a little bit at the minute because of COVID, and the world is. I've been not sitting, but when I'm watching something and I'm watching stuff about China and watching stuff about wars, and it's just
China.
Just sitting there going, I wish there was more gaming news because this is horrible. Rocket League will be flying into the Epic stores this summer as part of the new update. Will also make the game free to play. However, it'll be leaving Steam permanently in the process. Developer Cynix announced the news on its blog, which outlined how popular Poseidon Sports title will become on Epic Store exclusively on PC. The game will feature cross-platform play, and anyone who already owns Rocket League on Steam will still benefit from full support for future updates and features. Once Rocket League powers its way onto the Epic Games Store, though, new players will no longer be able to download the Steam version. If you're still not a fan of Epic Store's storefront, might not be a good opportunity to snag the game to preferred platform before it's gone. But if you snag it now, you have to buy it. That's the snag there. That's the thing there. Yeah. So if you're going to wait till it goes free, you have to wait till it goes Epic. I still don't see the problem that everyone has with Epic. It's more of like, oh, we love Steam. We can't have someone coming up against Steam. I don't like it. Just PC politics.
I think the Epic hate has died down a little bit compared to its hype. Like when it was really big.
It's underlying there, John. I bet you it's there somewhere. It's like niggling. If you ask them, they'd be like, "But I don't like them."
I haven't heard much. Like I remember when they started doing stuff. Like people do. You'd always hear about like, oh, the Epic Store shaking their fists. But I hear less and less. I could be just listening to the wrong channels, but I seem to see less and less of that.
Yeah. It's great that to be honest, Rocket League seems like the perfect title for a free-to-play title where you'd be able to buy skins for the cars. Like it's perfect. You know, all this stuff.
Probably already made a ton of money.
A shit ton of money. Do you play Rocket League?
Not at all.
I played it for a wee while and then realized that I was really, really, really atrocious at the game.
Yeah, I'm atrocious at the game too.
This game is not for me. It's fun, but not for me.
Yeah. I thought it would be like FIFA with cars, which it technically is, but like I was like, oh, because I played like once or twice, and I was having trouble with like the camera and driving and like knowing where the ball was and stuff. I was like losing my mind trying to play it. I got to the point after I think I played a lad, and then I played a different lad a different day, and I went, and they were like, I don't want to play this anymore. Yeah, because I was just that bad at it. I was so bad at it that I was like, I'm not having fun because I'm so bad. It
has a great caster system on it. I wish every game was like it because it's so easy to cast on it. Just switch between cars, switch camera angles, go wherever you want with it. Unbelievable for it. When we did the tournament on it, I had to cancel last tournament. I'm going to be doing it again soon. We did a tournament on it. My throat was killing me by the end of it. We had so much fun. The game is like people love that game. There's people that are as mad into that game as you into fighting games or us into Tarkov, or people absolutely adore it, and it's great to see it going free to play. I'm happy with it. Now think about this, and we're going from Rocket League to another massive franchise. We're going to be showing a few trailers tonight from the earlier on's Xbox show, and we're going to start off with probably the biggest one on it. It is the biggest one on it, I think. If I find where I put them, we're going to show this first. Did it change? Hello? Change! It's not changing. I changed it.
We have always known war. It forged our empire, turned heroes into queens and kings, and decimated our foes. Now our oaths are lost, forsaken. And you must face the monsters our sins have borne. Is an oath worth the weight of a crown?
Okay, Pat messed up there. Pat, it's always that. Pat messed up there. He put the wrong things into my Streamlabs. I don't know how he did it, but that was actually Avowed, which is a a game that actually I was very excited to see. It's from the makers Fallout New Vegas and the Outer Worlds studio Obsidian. They've announced a new fancy role-playing game called Avowed for the Xbox X, Xbox One, and PC. Avowed takes place in Aura, the setting of Obsidian's 2015 games Pillars of Eternity and its 2018 sequel, but a swapping Pillars of Eternity old school isometric perspective from third-person gameplay, apparently including swordplay and spellcasting. A trailer doesn't give away much detail, but offers a sense of game's aesthetic and tone. Avowed is Obsidian's third game since its acquisition by Microsoft following Outer Worlds and Grounded, a corporate survival game where shrunken players' narrative and dangerous I read the wrong bloody thing. But it's basically RPG. It looks a lot of fun, and it looks like the type of game that you are going to get massively into. Like John and Ronan will be massively into it,
especially with the studio.
Yeah,
you might not notice, Paddy. I might mention it like every week or two, but like Fallout New Vegas is one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah,
I've cleared that game several times. The Outer Worlds was a very good game, but I was expecting, they hyped it to be the New Vegas, and in that regard it lacked because it was slightly shorter. It felt a bit more linear. Like New Vegas, you could just do anything. It was like a freaking sandbox game. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
I felt like the Outer Worlds it was a little bit kind of zoned in. It was a little bit like, no, you kind of have to do this, which I didn't like too much. Well, that's I didn't like it. Plus, they did. I know there's. Actually, we'll probably talk about this later. But there was one of the issues I had was that there was places I thought the game was way longer because they had about 5 planets on the map. That it turns out you never actually got to go to.
Yeah,
but,
actually, well, that's not actually in the thing, but they've done. There is DLC.
Saying,
I haven't put it in the news, but there is DLC. Two DLCs coming for the Outer World, so maybe that's going to be the planets.
Them planets are going to be the DLCs.
Yeah.
That's kind of fair enough.
This is definitely a take on, and even Aaron, or not how you said it there in the chat, is Skyrim. This definitely looks like a version of Skyrim to me, especially maybe this is why they're jumping in where they have the chance, because there's not a Skyrim, whatever is 6 supposed to be coming out, won't be out for years.
Yeah, actually, the other one, I keep forgetting its name, Star or whatever, is out first.
Yeah, but this is definitely their take on it, and it looks, to be honest, it looks like a lot of fun. I know Pat has not seen them, so we won't even ask. Pat, what are you doing here? So we'll go on to the next. We'll go on to the next bit of news. I don't even know if I'm gonna have to pull up Halo from something else and we'll play it somewhere. I think I changed the wrong thing. We have a game trying to stick to the old traditions of no microtransactions. Godfall will have zero microtransaction counterplay games, is confirmed. In an interview with Arkex Gaming, technical producer Richard Hearn was asked whether Godfall follows the old magnified games as a service model or more of a traditional content structure that allows players to 100% complete the game. So there's an experience you can complete, Haynes said before summarizing the main campaign following the mad god Marcos and the Sky Breaker monolith in the middle of Godfall. That being said, there's replayable content, there's endgame content, and there's more for the player to explore and revisit once they've completed their ascent on the Skybreaker monolith. We don't consider the game a service. There's no microtransactions in Godfall. We are planning that there is plenty of content for the player to dig into. Marcos is defeated. Once Marcos is defeated, I always find these with gaming companies and stuff like that. If they've no microtransactions, they make a big sign and they're like, no microtransactions here. Come to us. Come play. Yeah. What do you think?
Well, New York, Pat.
It sort of just got to this point, like loads of companies, it happened for so many years, and now people assume that microtransactions are always going to be in these games. So that's why they have to come out. Like, you have to look at games like Avengers. Like, it came out and said that it wasn't going to have microtransactions, even though I think they came out recently and said it would have microtransactions at the same time. So not sure about them, but even
was like, you are going to have microtransactions.
Sorry, I didn't hear you there.
But even Crash Bandicoot 4, it had microtransaction was going to be on the box art or something, but they came out and said that there's not going to be any microtransactions in it. So I'm not sure why it's on the box or in the details somewhere. But yeah, like I think it has to come out because like it's just people have grown so used to it.
Yeah,
and people hate it so much, like especially like just I know there's two types of microtransactions. There's like cosmetic, and there's the ones that affect gameplay. So I know some people have issues with both. Some people don't mind the cosmetic ones, but they hate the ones for gameplay. The one that got the balance completely wrong, famously, was definitely Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the ones that started the whole rebellion against microtransactions.
That was the biggest. That's the one that really set off. Like the something on the camel's back. Everyone will say it just straw on the camel's back. And then they came back at them, and that's what everyone's going back now. Is no microtransactions, no microtransactions. It'll eventually be banned as well. To be honest, I think in a lot. Well, the loot boxes and stuff will be anyway.
Loot boxes will be because you don't know what you're getting. Yeah. Now, when it's the case of like, this fancy jumper costs you 150 sparkle coins, and a sparkle coin is €1. Then it's not €1 because that'll be.
I have no sparkle coins.
That would be ridiculous, but you know what I mean. But like that. So some people have no problem with that. I kind of go with the whole. There's a reviewer I respect a lot on YouTube, Jim Sterling. I kind of see it his perspective that like he remembers when games were like it's like the world has been hypnotized to be going, no, but the cosmetic ones are fine to spend money on. And then he was like, do you remember when games you used to just be able to unlock outfits and it was a part of the game and it was fun, and that was a fun part of the game? It's like people seem to be just like, no, but if it's cosmetic, it's fine. And what he praised for it was actually Borderlands 3. Because Borderlands 3, all the cosmetics, all the upgrades, all everything, you just unlock in game. And he was like, it's like I was so this is such a revelation, even though it's not, because it's how games used to be. Do you know what I mean? So I do understand why people don't mind cosmetic ones, but at the same time, it's a bit stupid that you're spending money on a freaking jumper.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And then the gameplay ones, I'm completely against. Like, that's just stupid.
I've actually seen like a lot of people bringing up Ghost of
Tsushima.
I've seen a lot of people bringing in Ghost of Tsushima, about how like the variety of how you can change up the samurai in it, and like it's like a lot of people are really appreciative of it. And I'm seeing online that like it's like, why isn't this in every game? Cosmetics can affect the enjoyment of a game.
Yeah,
and again, that's like I'm basically talking about like Jim Sterling's point of view here, which I then went like, Joe, he's right. So give big props to Jim Sterling. Like it is silly that it's cosmetics.
It's more of it's the corporate mentality. It's like I was saying that earlier actually. The when a company, especially like in America or any big business company, they'll always every year they want profits, and they mean more profit and more profit. Yeah. And that's the problem is when they come into the boardrooms, like, how are we going to make more profit this year on these games? And if you think about it, the games haven't changed price in a long time. Like, they haven't, compared to the fluctuations of the economies and stuff, they haven't gone anywhere really. You know what I mean? A very little price rise compared to what they actually should be. They have their price point and they kind of stick to it. So it's very hard for companies to make money. So they have to come up with some ways, and businessmen are going to come up with a way. Definitely going to come up with a way to change, to make more money in the industry.
Speaking on that as well, Paddy, real quickly, there has been rumors in the last week or two that the next generation may see a price hike in games, because someone put when someone leaks a price of something online by accident, like Amazon or so, I can't remember exactly where it was, but they had NBA 2K whatever down as $69.99, which is about €80. So
it's not the other way, though.
Whatever, I could be wrong on my math, but whatever it was, it equated to
dollars is less than euros.
Perfect. I probably got that wrong, but I remember it equated to €80.
Yeah, I think that was Ubisoft. I think I remember just me reading that before I got on. I think that's a Ubisoft thing.
Ubisoft actually they're saying, like, at the start of next generation, their games are still going to cost the same price. It was like John was saying 2K.
Yeah, no, because I remember reading the same article, and I think you may have got a little bit mixed up, John, because I think it's the other way around. I think they're saying that it is going to be the same. As far as I remember, reading.
The point of the thing I read was definitely that the price could be going up.
Okay, no, because the one he's on said the exact same thing with the 2K thing. 2K was this price and that price. Maybe it was the same article. I just didn't read it right as well.
But like Sean Layden, who used to be he was fairly high up in the part of Sony Entertainment, so PlayStation man, and he came out and said that like games will most likely be seeing a price rise because of the effort and the amount of money's being put into them.
Yeah.
So
They'll
there's a
definitely-
possibility that we are going to see a hike in price for games.
Yeah, well, it's bound to happen, lads. Like, it has to. You know what I mean? The games are getting better and better. The studios are getting bigger and bigger, and technology is getting bigger and bigger. And as I said, the fluctuation in economies and stuff as well makes a big difference of price points of games, and it's bound to happen sometimes. It's probably the only thing that hasn't. Hasn't came up in price. Everything else has come up in price. Well, certain things haven't, though. Like technology, I think like TVs and stuff seem to have come down in price the last while, but I think that's because the technology's got cheaper to make, more produced, stuff like that. But we're not really economists in here either. So, well, maybe.
Can I just say that I'm just thinking purely of steamed hams right now because you have the Aurora Borealis in your background there.
Yes, what are you talking about?
It's
What's in the background?
Steamed hams.
There's nothing in the background here. It's just maybe I'm very sensual. My head keeps disappearing.
Aurora Borealis.
Aurora Borealis.
Okay, this time of the country. Localized entirely within your kitchen.
I have the next trailer is a film trailer, and I'm very excited about it, and I can't believe Pat's watching it because he's actually not watching it. Now we better change. This thing's not working for me tonight. Oh, there. Did I change it back? It did work.
We have always known war.
Oh, I did it again.
what video are you showing now?
It's all obsidian. Something happened. Something happened. Let me just pull it up on YouTube. Wait a second.
You're
I don't
some
care.
fan
I
there,
don't
John,
care.
so yeah.
Yeah, had to be done. Whew.
Right, here we go.
You're not like showing like a miniature fan there earlier, like last week.
It's not.
Where's the live boys?
Oh, it's trying to juice.
Doesn't matter. They need to know about my fan. Sour juice.
When your wives.
You said naive, yeah.
I mean, we're a couple of couples, right?
We'll be back, all right?
Hey, you want to be in our band? Oh.
You can get fined, Pat.
We're gonna go talk to Death. Is he playing scotch?
I can't get fined. I have no money.
Hey, Death.
Life isn't a wild stallion.
Let's talk about dead air. They're learning.
Be excellent to each other.
And party on, dudes.
How you doing?
Well, you know, we're dead and we're in hell.
But how you doing?
We're good.
It's not going well today, boys. There we go. Sorry, guys. The stream deck is not working properly today. That was the new trailer for the upcoming Bill and Ted movie, which I can't wait to watch. Pat doesn't even know what Bill and Ted is.
No, all I know is Bill and Ben.
Bill and Ben.
Yeah.
Who's Bill and Ben?
The Flower Pot Men.
Flower Pot Men. Where are they from? Tipperary?
God only knows.
I honestly would go watch if you hadn't seen them before. I think you'd enjoy Bill and Ted. They were massive, and they are still massive.
You described it to me there earlier, and it sounds like an acid trip, so it does.
Yeah, but it's in the 90s, so makes sense.
Everything was an acid trip in the 90s.
It shows in the trailer there, but you have to go into a phone box to go back in time. Like, that's what it's all about, is going back in time. And what they have to do, why they have to go back in time, is because they have to become the greatest rock band that ever lived. Ding, 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 ding. It's like looking at me like I have 10 heads. It's like a different generation gap here, and I'm not even that old.
Have you not seen Doctor Who, Pat? Because he goes into a telephone box and to go through time.
Well,
and
he goes into a police box.
An island.
Isn't
yeah,
it?
but isn't that like a box with a telephone?
It's a telephone box, isn't it? Really?
I know, but like it's called a police box now.
But there's not a policeman just standing there. There's a telephone in there. It's a telephone box.
Well, it's technically, this big sort of spaceship.
Party tab, excellent. John, you like them, don't you?
I do. As we were discussing, it's been years since I've seen them, so I kind of mixed the two of them up in my head a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were funny. I honestly probably haven't seen them since I was like a teenager.
John, I actually went back and watched I'd prefer the second one to the first one. I really liked the second one. Bill and Ted's was an excellent adventure, and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journeys is the second one, and they're brilliant, and and like they're such good films.
I probably remember the first one better because I've definitely seen both of them, but I remember them going back in time, and I remember them going to like Cleopatra or whatever. And I remember
Napoleon.
All the people and them all being, he brings them all back into the present, and they're all going around the shopping mall, and they're all, this kind of stuff. I have vague recollections, but I remember them being very funny. For me when I was a teenager.
Yeah, second one is definitely Betterly, yeah, for sure. Taking the piss out of me for saying Betterly earlier. Everyone is bogus. Yeah, bogus. Then he should then know how to say it as well. Thanks, Bonehouse. The bogus journey is definitely my favorite out of the two of them, and I can't wait. I'm definitely gonna watch it. Definitely. Bill and Ted Face the Music is in a bit of a twilight with its release date, as we're in the middle of a pandemic and it's affecting theaters. It may be out on August 28th, but maybe straight to streaming platform. They haven't really said exactly what way it's going to happen. They're saying it might go to theaters. I suppose it depends how many theaters are opened and how many they can get out to. Is it worth their time to even distribute to the theaters, or they might as well just give it to sell it to a platform and let them get rid of it and put it out there. I'm not. Is it VOD? Does VOD do straight to like big movies or something? Is that a streaming platform? I don't use it.
I think that's I know what you're talking about. It's where like movies that should be at the cinema at that time, people can pay to watch them.
Yeah.
I've never used it, but that's how I understand it works.
Yeah.
We could go to that, you never know. But that's also happened in a few movies. That new Christopher Nolan movie, Tenet.
Yeah.
That's after getting back to be determined. Like there's no release date on that anymore. It's supposed to be out in August, but it's obviously because they want this movie to go to theaters.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, we're just gonna delay it because unless we want to give it to a streaming service, they seem like it's a big, massive Christopher Nolan movie. They want it to be in theaters. So there's a few movies that are getting kind of, they don't know, in limbo. They don't know exactly what they're going to do with them.
We'll move on anyway. The United States Army will suspend its activities on the streaming. Like, I never thought I'd be talking about this, but the United States Army will suspend its activities on the streaming platform Twitch. I didn't know it was on it. For the time being, due to negative backlash the organisation received in recent weeks. No way. You think, lads got on the United States Army trying to get people into the army on Twitch would get good feedback. According to reporter Rob Slasher Breslew, the negative response to the army's activities on Twitch, including orchestrating giveaways that led to recruitment pages, which Twitch banned and blocked users from asking about war crimes in the channel chat section, have made the army reconsider its reach out efforts online. Just imagine like Donald Trump coming across Twitch one day. You know what we'll do? We'll advertise the Twitch. That's the next way, guys. China. On the same day, reports appeared the U.S. Representative Alexander Ocasio-Cortez, whatever his name is, will fly a measure that would prevent the United States military military trying to recruit applicants through video games, including esports and streaming platforms like Twitch. Well, did you think they'd do something like this?
I think it's funny how they didn't think they'd get trolled or whatever, because like it's Twitch, and if people have any sort of, it's the anonymity of the internet. Like, it's just,
Hi guys,
of course, if people have an issue with it, they're going to troll the absolute hell out of you. And I find it funny how blocking people walking about war crimes, because if you know how Twitch works, one lad would ask about war crimes, and then if they see one of them getting banned, the whole chat is just going to be like, yeah, what about this? What about this? I imagine their moderators were working in overtime. It's scummy. It's unbelievably scummy what they were doing, because the American military's recruitment processes are already notoriously scummy. So this is just a step up from it.
Yeah. Pat?
Like, it's strange that they had to go to them sort of lengths to try and recruit people. Like, it begs the question, like, is there like low recruitment for the US Army, or
I suppose maybe it's just a better way of doing it, even during the COVID pandemic, getting people who are online, getting people in their own homes. And also, there's also the added element of being down with the kids, being hip. Hey, we play video games too. Why don't you just play real video games, and actually shoot people? You know, hey, you like Call of Duty? How about freaking taking up the Call of Duty and, you know, killing
it could be a lot of too. Is like the direct marketing to their younger audience, whereas a lot of people aren't watching normal TV anymore, and they're not especially young people. There's not like I barely turn on Sky at all, or normal TV, or there's not really a way to advertise to these anymore. And the recent growth of Twitch is, you'll probably see a lot more kind of these kind of, not saying American, not saying the army, but like massive more advertising groups will be coming over to Twitch now, because there's so much growth in this industry. You'll probably
also,
see,
I don't think,
I would say, how long will it be before you start seeing toys pop up for, you know, this is coming this Christmas, and on Twitch, why not? Like, there's a lot of kids on it. If you, the same as you watch a cartoon show, and at the end of it, it shows you a load of advertisements. Like my young daughters, she'll tell there's young lads doing things on YouTube, and she wants exactly what they have. But I'm saying it's probably going to happen.
It just shows how big, and I know it's already big, but like how bigger and bigger and bigger Twitch is getting. I just checked through the notes there just to make sure it wasn't on the card. But massive Twitch news during the week actually was the rapper Logic.
Oh,
He's after retiring from rap, and he's signed a deal to play games on Twitch. A massive multi-million, working with like Eminem, working with like a proper freaking rappers after retiring from the rap game, signed a deal with Twitch to play games. It's insane. It's massive how everybody, this is kind of the same as the army recruiting thing you were saying about TV revenue and people not watching TV, like how much pull Twitch is now getting to the mainstream, getting actual people over from massive, like soon and we already see people from TV, and you see like there's a lot of American football stars, and sure Mighty Mouse is a massive streamer.
Yeah, there's
like,
a few UFC.
You know what I mean?
There's a few UFC stars that are Twitch streamers, but you're going to see it from every angle. Twitch is massive. There's a lot of money to be made as well. That's why. Pat.
Yeah. Money.
Money. I think we're going to skip the trailers, because I have no idea what the Stream Deck is doing. But we'll get to, I'll stick them up on the page or something for you. It was going to show like Halo and stuff. Forget about it. Didn't happen.
Halo looks good though. If we're talking about it quickly, Halo does look very shiny.
Yeah, I suppose we could talk about it. Yeah. It definitely looks. I'd like to see the multiplayer. I think the multiplayer is really going to make it.
That's where it goes.
Yeah, that's where it ends up going. I do like the gameplay and stuff that they showed today. It was very well put together. It's definitely, you can tell it's a Halo game for 5 miles away. So like that's good the way they stuck to the same kind of aspects. You didn't see it, Pat, did you?
No, I didn't.
No.
Sorry. I've only seen the cover art, which was a nice callback to the original cover art, which I just point out. That's for as far as my knowledge goes.
I've seen a lot of games that are coming out now are, you know, they've gone past their Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 4. Yeah. Even Forza did it today as well. There's a few of them, they're all going past that, and they have to start with just the name now again, and then they'll go Infinite 1, Infinite 2, Infinite 3 maybe. You know,
I think they think in their brain that it gets to if it gets to a certain number, let's say 7, that it starts like they're like, well, if we want this franchise to go on indefinitely, like it's going to sound stupid when we're on Halo 53. You know what I mean? So I think they kind of just nip it in the bud and go, yeah, as you said, Infinite, then Infinite 2, Infinite 3, and then it's
didn't get the series.
But
Final Fantasy gets away with it though.
It's probably the only one that bloody does. Yeah, but would they bring it if they brought another one out now? Would it be Final Fantasy? What would it be?
16.
16.
Well, it'll probably be
I
the
reckon
remake
it would probably be called 16 as well.
I suppose they'd have to stick to it. Why not? I suppose if you go past a certain thing as well, it's a bit, you can't keep stopping. Like, if you go back to something 12, it's like, yeah, well, come on, might as well keep going now. Unlucky 13, yes.
but as well, I was wondering watching that trailer. I could be wrong because it's just you just get a bit of gameplay. The way he gets off the crash ship and he's looking around and he sees like it's massive, it's open, and he's kind of getting into little packs of enemies. And it could just be a stage of it's just bigger levels. But you know, he's going up on that lift and he looks out and he sees all these different places off in the distance that he can explore.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're hinting at like a Far Cry-esque, maybe you're actually on an open world rather than level by level by level.
Yeah, well, that could probably make sense in this kind of generation. It would make sense there'd be more open world than loading screens and going between levels and picking this and picking that. Like
I could be wrong.
That's kind of the old. That's kind of the older way, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
it would make sense. Open world is kind of that would be more enjoyable. For me anyway. I don't like loading screens at all. What else came out? That Avowed looks good. We talked about that. What else did we talk about? The Fable showed very, very little. But they do that when they're only showing something for the first time. It's a teaser, and they only give you a little drip. But I know a lot of people are very excited for it. The Fable series is huge, and you don't like it.
Nah, Fable 3, I'm joking. It's semi-joking. Fable 3 was a disaster and one of my most hated games of all time.
Did you finish
Fable
it?
3 is a disaster. Yeah, finish the whole thing. Fable 3 is a train wreck. It's horrible. Horrible, disgusting game. Blech.
I never played it, and I'm
Blech.
honest. Someone clip that. We're going to use that all over again. I'm going to make that like an emote.
I hated it. I don't hate many games, but I actually got mad at the end. Like I was like, it was because I was like, I can't believe I actually finished this. I can't believe I didn't stop playing earlier. There was no
what am I
payoff.
doing with my life? Playing this thing.
It was the first time I looked at a game going, why did I finish you? And like, I wanted to destroy it.
I've had a couple of exes like that.
Hey.
Don't get me started.
Oh,
what else was there today that I enjoyed? The new Forza game. And John said, I didn't have to look at it. I know what it looked like already. It's like, yeah, probably. There was bits of it where I was like, is this the game or is not the game? Because they're in like a workshop kind of place. But I actually didn't know if it was the game or not, because the way the graphics have gone these days, it's hard to tell the difference. It does look really fun, and apexes and stuff look beautiful. What else?
Cars.
We have two more bits of news. Cars.
Shiny cars.
Xbox. More Xbox news. Xbox boss Phil Spencer has played down the potential of Xbox Game Pass being available on Nintendo and Sony systems, despite the company having previously stated that it was a long-term goal to bring the service to all platforms. Talking to GameStar, Spencer said, the thing about other gaming platforms is we are not able to bring a full Xbox experience on those platforms. That's a dig. In places where we have brought a full Xbox experience, like what we're doing on our mobile phones with xCloud coming to Xbox Game Pass, Xbox Ultimate, what we've done with the PC, we know when somebody's playing one of our Xbox games, there is an expectation that they've got their Xbox Live community. Jesus, if I say Xbox anymore, lads, I'm going to faint. They have their achievements. Game Pass as an option. The first party library is completely there, Spencer said. The other competitive platforms really aren't interested in having a full Xbox experience on their hardware, he added. But for us, we have where gamers want to be, and it's the path we're on. He's saying, Xbox is the best. All the rest of platforms are crap, and I don't want to be on them anyway. That's what he just said. I didn't want to do it anyway. That's basically what he just said there. I suppose I agree, but like it's more like that really does sound like that he offered them and they turned it down, and now he's like retracting on his previous statement.
I don't think he would. I don't think that's the case. Like I think,
but it's in the,
if you're going to be making a new console,
yeah.
If you're going to be making a new console, you wouldn't want to put all your exclusives on all the other consoles.
No,
because then your console.
No, but it's more about the Game
relevant.
Pass he's on about, the Xbox Game Pass. But like he did say it's a long-term goal. He said that before, so I don't know. do you think, John?
But they're all going to be on PC anyway, all the exclusives. So the idea of an Xbox only exclusive doesn't exist anymore because everything is on PC as well.
I think there was a couple of games that they announced earlier that wasn't going to be on PC, but I don't know what they were. I can't remember what they were, but I remember not seeing them. They showed you which Xbox One and PC, and then there was someone that was just Xbox One X, Xbox One, and then, the different ones. So I don't know if they're all going to be.
No, I didn't read the full article, but does anybody know? I saw a few days ago. Didn't Phil Spencer not come out recently and say something about how there's not really going to be exclusives on Xbox because that's not the vision he's seen for Microsoft going forward. He wants, exclusivity on gaming and all this.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense though.
Yeah, what I took from it was that, no, I could be wrong. What I took from it was that he meant that, it's not exclusive to Xbox because most things are going to be coming out on the PC.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense for them to stop to block the PC since they're heavily involved with PCs. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. Microsoft like, it's not going to be. We're not putting it on to our own company. It's like, come on, you're going to now. Don't be lying to me.
I love Xbox. I love everything they're doing. Game Pass is an amazing service. But when it comes to the consoles, because I have a PC, and I know not everybody has a PC, but because I have a PC, I am 100% getting a PS5 because of the exclusives.
Yeah,
because
same as yourself.
Do you know what I mean? So that's like it's an open and shut case for me because I have a PC. So it's.
I would have been picking PC. I would have been picking PS5.
But
first,
Microsoft are going to be making their money either way. They're going to be making their money because I have a PC. I'll be getting the stuff on the Game Pass to be making my money from the Game Pass. So
there's 11 they showed that are supposed to be console only. I don't know, maybe. I need to check that.
They're like time exclusive to
same as PlayStation 5 seems to be doing lately. Is the timed exclusives that come to PC or something later on, which makes sense. Like, to be honest, if I was a game studio now, not directly in with Sony, and if I had my own company that you're contracted in, you'd say stuff like, or even Sony themselves, why would you'd give yourself exclusivity for a while and then you'd broaden your horizons to make more money, because you put it out to the PC, put it out to the Xbox, and you've got a chance to expand and make more money, and you've already done that exclusive hot ticket that everyone loves. Oh, it's exclusive, I have to buy it, it's exclusive. But it makes sense.
When
Bloodborne 2, you say?
Yeah, Bloodborne 5.
But like when Horizon went on to Steam there, like the pre-orders, didn't they skyrocket up to the top of the list, like for things that was being bought?
A lot of the time as well, it's the like Red Dead and any of them. It's the mods and stuff that people can do. They're all really excited. They're like, oh Jesus, I'm gonna put a balloon on that lad's head. I can't wait.
I love. Sorry, can I just say, I love that how that's the first thing that came to your head. Is that's just Penny's dream? I can't put a balloon on this lad's head.
It's gonna be a pink one, a pink balloon. He's got to fly off into the sky, and then we're never gonna see him again. And the main protagonist is gone. What do you do then? Talking of PC, Sea of Thieves has passed 15 million player milestone, with 1 million of those being from the recent Steam release alone. Although it launched to a lukewarm reception in 2018, Sea of Thieves is clearly growing a lot. Interestingly, the majority of its 15 million players began their piracy adventures in 2020. That's mad, isn't it? All this year, and it's been released for 2 years. With the first 6 months of the year seeing more than the entirety of 2019, which itself eclipsed 2018 numbers. June this year alone saw 3.3 million players. The Rare has attributed the success to a Steam release of the game, which launched on June 3rd. The game has begun a regular fixture in Steam's top-selling games since its launch on Storefront. At the time, rising in third place behind Far Cry 5, which is a deep discount, and Death Stranding. While the game didn't exactly blow anybody away when it first released in 2018, it managed to pick up committed fan base through a combination of Xbox PC crossplay with 5 large-scale content updates interspread with similar monthly updates to tide things over. That's a pretty good news. It's one of them games that took a little bit of time and starting to take off big time. There's probably a lot of people streaming it as well, which helps. I've
actually watched a few people streaming it, and it looks like a really fun game if you have a few mates to go around. Like, I even watched you and John. You streamed.
Yeah.
You guys streamed it.
We played it,
didn't you?
Yeah.
It was great crack watching you. It's like, it's a fun game to watch.
I see there's a lot of people trying to go into the roleplay version of it too. They're trying to expand on it to actually make it a proper thing. What?
Could you imagine, like,
that's it, yeah. But that's
Penny were doing that.
But that's what
Penny were doing that.
Yeah, that's what you're kind of doing. Like, when you jump into it, you are role playing a bit. I want to be a pirate when I grow up, so Like that's my dream. I don't stand on my
Exactly, yeah.
dreams, Pat. Fuck's sake.
It's being a pirate in this day and age is a bit different now.
Yeah. Do you want a pirate DVD? Would you rob a car? I would if I could download it. It's just a mod for Forza.
But yeah, it's just it just shows there's a few stories like that. Sea of Thieves and most famously No Man's Sky, games that came out. Now Sea of Thieves came out to like a meh, whereas No Man's Sky came out to we want to murder Hello Games. But like both of those games just completely brought it back from the brink just by literally just content after content after content after content. Because again, what happened
Content is
basically
king.
was when it first came out, apparently it was like you sailed around and you found a few bits of treasure, and people were like, "Oh, this is the entire game." And apparently, it got really boring really quick, and then they just released more and more and more free content for it, and it became a game, and people were happy. Some people always argue that is that such a good thing that people hype up this game that's not finished, and it takes them another 2 years to finish it.
Yeah,
I don't mind it in myself, but like it's especially like now that I suppose I basically got the game for free, not free, but you spend 15 euros a month or whatever. Yeah. So you're not spending €60 on it because it's on the Game Pass. So I didn't mind it, and I got it when it was more fixed. But I do see the point of like people get like hyping people up, big massive trailers. This is the game, and then being like, there's not much left. People going, yeah, but it'll be a game in 2 years.
Yeah,
I can get why people be.
I'll buy it in 2 years then, but then you'll be complaining that it's not coming out quick enough. We can't win.
Yeah, exactly.
Just don't tell us about it, and that's it. Just like Apex, launch it. Just launch it out of nowhere. To be telling you, I'd love some games to do that. I know they can't because they probably need the money.
I got confused when you said Apex. I actually thought of what the fuck. Or sorry for my language. What the frick is that? What was that game was called? That absolutely dropped dead. That EA game. That one with the jetpacks, the Destiny clone, kind of, but it was in third person. You know what I'm talking about? The one that died. You probably forget it even existed. That one that was massive. Someone in the chat.
Bloodborne.
No. The one, the freak.
Anthem.
I can't even think of the name
Anthem.
of it. The game.
Anthem.
Anthem. Yeah,
Anthem.
the game that is now dead. Yeah, because
and they stopped making content for it, haven't they?
Yeah, because if they released it like the whole thing, like, oh yeah, we're releasing this much now, but the game is a service. So like next year we'll release the next patch and the other there. But people were like, well, no, this game right now is crap. So people stopped playing it. People didn't wait. People refunded it. People didn't like it.
Yeah, so, that's it. Well,
like I know a lot of people. Yeah, I know a lot of people actually went out and bought Anthem when it was super cheap and actually had like a super good time with it because they didn't put too much money into it.
But I think even at that stage, they had fixed a lot of the problems. I think at launch, it was not only was it like not the game they really thought it was, but also I'm pretty sure it was broken as all hell. Like it was completely nearly unplayable.
I wonder who got sacked for that one. It wasn't me, you know.
I don't know, but the whole game has basically gone down the toilet, and they basically said they're washing their hands with it.
Yeah,
so.
They're doing a mixer. I suppose we can move on to the topic of the weekend. It's not in the chat. I just messed it all up this week, to be honest. It's all over the place. This is Stream Deck's fault. But we're going to be talking about our favorite games of this generation, or favorite game, or whatever. I probably know already what you are going to pick, but they'll go for it. Pat's probably go for it, Pat. Let me hear it. It's going to be something like, I don't know.
NGI code 7DS.
Yeah, we've never heard of it.com. Go.
Actually, I probably guess what it is. Probably gives it with a P.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, look.
Yeah. You're right. It's
well, you talk about it.
Royale will probably be my favorite game of this generation. Nothing.
Yeah. Of course it is.
You know what? I don't think I should. I've talked about this game way too much.
Go for it, Pat. We love it. We love hearing about it. Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah, you're back.
Hello.
Right, I thought I disappeared there.
You did disappear for a second.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah. But yeah, I've talked about Persona 5 Royale so much. I don't think I should, because I just take up all the rest of the time. Like, I could be here all day.
I speak a little bit about it.
But I think I'll give to other games.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, it's a fantastic game. It's brilliant. It's like it. It hooked me like no other game out there. Like, I started playing, and within a week, I finished it 150 hours, which is something
Did you go to bed?
I've never done before, and my lack of sleep just didn't bother me until it. And then I went back and played it more for another 150 hours. So, like,
Yeah, Pat is left us. He's no
Which is
longer.
actually-
He's no
it's
longer
kinda
in the
sad,
building.
'cause He's been doing very good all. Oh, he's actually gone. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gone now. But he was doing good all stream. That goddamn internet. Like I
Yeah.
complain about my internet being bad, but Pat must hate when I say it.
And then he comes back. He comes back with the danger eyes. That's just gonna freeze there. You're gonna freak
Danger
everybody.
eyes.
Danger eyes. Hello.
Hello, Pat.
Hello, Pat.
hello?
You're far crying
Pat.
away from us. Hello.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was just like freezing up there.
You're.
You are.
Do you know what was wrong there,
Hello?
Pat? You were boring.
Hello?
You were boring your own internet.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, Pat.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
I'm confused. I'm missing so much.
No, we're
Yeah, I
you're,
think
you're
my
not. You're not.
internet is
Yeah.
just going banjacks.
Okay. He sadly passed away. What? Damn.
Hello, Pat.
Pat. Pat.
Hi guys.
Pat!
Yeah, I'm here. I'm still with you.
Oh yeah. It's because you're showing too much of your mouth, Pat.
No.
No, don't do
Cam.
it, Pat. Don't do it.
It's
That's
just
it.
that.
It's just I froze.
That's what I actually thought it was for a second.
Pat. You have to get up very,
I'll
very
just-
early.
I'll just do the rest of the podcast from here.
No
So
problem.
I'll just do it from
Have
here.
you seen this
Yeah,
man?
I won't
He
show
looks.
my mouth at all.
Have you seen this man? Last scene. Pat Mustard. Look, he's getting. Don't do it, Pat. You get frozen on that, Pat. Look, he's actually got frozen on it. We'll have to turn Pat's camera off. Can I do it from here? I think I actually
I'm
can.
confused right now, guys.
Okay,
We're all confused, Pat.
What's going on? I'm so confused.
Pat the Butch. Okay, John.
Okay.
We'll come back to Pat. We'll come back to Pat when his internet kicks off. He's frozen. You're so beautiful. Look at that little head tilt he's got for us. Ah,
He's a
jizz, look at him.
He's a dote.
Oh, there he's gone. No, go. No, you can see your hairy arms. Put them away. He always gets stressed out. I remember when he used to not. He used to go.
Hello?
Yeah, he used to go
Hello,
mental.
Pat.
He used to go mental when he couldn't hear us. Redeemed. I follow your Twitch. I definitely follow
Hello?
your Twitch, Fawn. No problem, buddy.
Hello?
Hello, Pat.
I'll just mute him. I just muted him. He can't hear us
Okay.
anyway. Right, go
Sorry,
on.
Pat.
Great, go on,
All
John.
right. Okay, well, it's a tough one because there was a few games this generation that were just fantastic.
Unmute him.
It's a toss up between, honestly, for me, and I think one of them might be your one, Paddy, but I'm going to pick the other one.
Okay.
But it is a toss up for me between Red Dead Redemption 2 and Bloodborne,
Okay.
because you know how much I love Bloodborne.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say Bloodborne because I could be wrong. I think you might say the other one, but anyway, because I know you liked it very much.
Yeah.
But Bloodborne is my favorite Souls game. If you know about the Souls games, you got Dark Souls, you got Demon Souls, which I've never played. The only one I've never played, getting remastered. Can't wait for it because it's the only one I haven't played.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, and
Ding,
Sekiro.
ding, 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 ding.
And Bloodborne is my favorite out of all of them, and I love
Yeah.
all the games.
What is it
It's
about
because-
that game? Like, why is it always like? What is so much about that game that you pick that over every other game? Like
Well,
you've
I
played it.
think
You've
it's-
played a lot of games, and let's face it, you
Yeah.
have played a lot of games. So like,
Yeah.
for that to stick out all the time, there must be something that's different to everything else.
I think what it is it's if you're a fan. I think there's two sets of people. There's the people that love the Dark Souls type game, and the people that there aren't. And the people that like the Dark Souls types games, like, is you just love the fighting mechanics are second to none. The difficulty, I just love a nice difficult game. But people say, oh, these Dark Souls and the Bloodborne and all that, they're unfair. They're way too hard. They're actually some of the like. There's no games you'll play that actually have better progression
Yeah.
of like it starting you off with like stuff you can handle, and then it kind of goes up and ramps up and up and up and up. I think it's a great game. I think Dark Souls 1, like obviously there's the whole meme that Dark Souls 1 starts you with the Asylum Demon. So like you literally start with a boss, and people usually go, "Oh, this is crap. I'm only playing the game for 5 minutes and there's a boss." But like when you get slightly, and I mean only slightly good at the game,
Yeah.
the Asylum Demon is a cakewalk. Like he's not really a boss. He's just like an enemy nearly.
Yeah.
But anyway, Why is it about Bloodborne, which is different compared to all those games? They completely threw their fighting system out the window. Now, by the way, Sekiro, again, people aren't going to like this. Sekiro is my second favorite, and then it goes into the Dark Souls games because the Sekiro fighting system is top notch. But Bloodborne is where it started. It was like the whole thing about Dark Souls is sword and shield, and Bloodborne said, "Get rid of that shield. You don't need it. All you need is a freaking sword and a gun, and you're going to be dodging at all times. You have to dodge every attack." And it's just the way that they let you be aggressive, the way that it's like they have this mechanic where if you hit the enemy within the next 2 or 3 seconds, you would actually be able to get that health back that you lost. Great mechanic. It just makes you aggressive at all times. The story, the setting, like the whole Victorian age setting, the way that they tell the story, that it's like you have to kind of piece together what's going on, and then when you do piece together what's going on, or if you watch Vatcha videos on YouTube. Vatcha Video is a lad, he does like all the Dark Soul and the Bloodborne and all the lore. So if you're not arsed, you can just watch his videos and he explains to you what's going on.
I might have to.
Like the detail that they put into like even every character, like the smallest characters will have so much freaking lore behind them. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like I know what's going on with all the characters, and I know what's going on because I watch all these videos and I read item descriptions. The whole story is basically told from item descriptions and like just stuff that happens in the game. Like you'll meet a character and like he'll be like, "Oh, this guy looks like a nice fellow," and then it's like, actually, if you know the lore of the game, he's actually the devil.
He's the devil, so he is.
You don't really know. I can see why people would think like, sure, there's no story, just random stuff happens. It's like it's not. There's actually unbelievably detailed story going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just I love the whole Dark Souls thing. I love those types of games, and I think Bloodborne is my favorite. And Bloodborne, it's just, it probably has the best DLC as well. It has the Old Hunters DLC compared to all the other like Dark Souls games, I mean.
Yeah.
And just a really hard DLC, some fantastic bosses. The Orphan of Cause is just a hard man. I bet him on New Game Plus. I don't know. It's hard to explain why I love it so much, but it's a game I've cleared probably about 6 times.
Awesome music.
And the music is also fantastic, but that's the same. Thanks, Pat. That's the same in most Dark Souls games, but yeah, especially, and I love screaming monsters.
It reminds me of home. It reminds me of me home.
Exactly. If you like Dark Souls games and that kind of game, for me, Bloodborne is the top of the shelf.
Pat, are you back?
Bits and pieces, so it is. I'm catching glimpses of like what you are saying, but
all right.
I don't know. Are you hearing me clearly?
Yeah, I think so. Most of the time, yeah. Do you want to continue what you were saying, or do you want?
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
I think I'll move on to another game because Persona doesn't seem to be giving me good luck when I start talking to it.
I understand that,
but I'd like to. I'd like to talk about Rayman Legends, which was came out at the beginning of the generation, and it's a phenomenal 2D platformer game.
Yeah.
Like it's everything a sequel should be, in my opinion. You have a full game there, and then they even had all the levels from Origins put into Legends that you could go and play. And it just added so much. New characters, new sort of missions that you could do, weekly challenges online. And they even had like music stages, which were just so well done. So they were like that Eye of the Tiger and like Black Betty, some really fantastic stages that worked so well with that music. And like then like the visuals for it, like the UbiArt engine, which I think should be used much more by Ubisoft. It's an incredible thing that just brings such lovely art to life. And it's one of the few 2D platformers that really got me back into them this generation.
Yeah.
It seemed like an evolved version of what had came before. But yeah, it's an incredible game.
Have you played that game a lot?
I played it a lot on my Vita because I think that's the best place to play it. You can take it wherever you want. But yeah, it's an addictive game, and it's just easy to pick up and play. It reminds me of like when you pick up the old Mario games and you just sit down and just plow through them.
Definitely.
That's that's Rayman this
or try.
generation.
I try and plow through them anyway. They're not as hard, not as easy as you think, Pat. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but that's why you have to sit down for hours and hours until you get it.
Yeah. Aaron just said there as well. Got to go with Days Gone, most undervalued game.
Days Gone is arguably better than The Last of Us 2. Fight me.
I'm going to have to. I'd have to disagree on that, even though I haven't played Last of Us 2, because I played that game when it came out, and my God, the glitches were awful. Like so bad.
You have to wait 2 years, Pat. It's the modern day.
I don't think you can't use that as an excuse.
No, I'm only joking.
So it's
No,
strange.
only
It's a strange thing, but like
I'd probably give
hordes would spawn in the middle of nowhere, just all around you, and you're dead. Your motorcycle could go flying into the air miles away. Just there were so many things that went so wrong. Like it was like Skyrim all over again for the PS3.
Nuthouse is like Skyrim is hers.
But I was kind of half joking. Honestly, I'd probably give them both a 7.
Yeah.
I think although the game mechanics of The Last of Us 2 was very good, I had more fun with the game mechanics in Days Gone. I just really liked them, and I had a lot of fun. But the story in The Last of Us 2, even though it has some of its weird moments, there wasn't much of a story in Days Gone. It was kind of just your that does have a generic cookie cutter story. Days Gone, in fairness.
If I was going to pick some, I don't think I wouldn't pick Red Dead Redemption 2. Like John was saying, I would be up there. It's probably up in the top 5 or whatever. But like if I was to pick like top 2, it's gonna be God of War. And like someone said it was shit today. I was like, how can you say that game is shit? It's like one of my
fighting words.
It's definitely one of the fighting words.
Well, I can see sort of where they might come from.
Okay, go for it, Pat.
Well, like the combat system is probably my biggest issue with it. Is the camera? It's way too close to Kratos. I feel like you have to turn around, takes way too long, and there could be an enemy there, and it's just irritating as hell. I know they have the wee sort of red icons that you're about to be attacked from behind. Yeah. But still, like, it feels irritating. It feels so slow, so it does.
I think, but I don't know. I think it was supposed to feel like that because Kratos is so big. Do you know? It's kind of make you want to think that he's turning slow, or you know, I know he's a god and everything, but I think that's what they're adding to it.
The man's like jumping across like out of the sky and jumping across big gaps at super speed and ramming people through mountains at fast speed. Like this man should be a bit quicker on it.
Like for a game, and like a lot of people are giving out that games they don't want games to kind of turn into movies and stuff. But like I like them like that. That's what my kind of favorite games are like that. Where you're following along a massive story and it's more about the story than nearly the game. If you understand what I'm trying to say, like it's
you might like The Last of Us 2 then.
Yeah, but like
I'd be the opposite on that.
Yeah.
I think that a game has to have first and foremost good gameplay.
But I think that the God of War had good gameplay. Definitely.
Yeah, but it could have been much better.
I don't know about that. I think God of War is actually like it's one of the best. Like I hope more games go like that. I wish another God of War was coming out quicker, so I could jump back into it and go to the next part, which is going to be Thor or whatever, or spoilers or whatever. But
like. I'm just gonna bring it back to fighting games for a second now. Like I've loved story games. I do. They have a special place in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
But recently, I was thinking like when I go back and play these games, they're nowhere near as the first time. It gets old quickly, and that's because the gameplay isn't fun overall. Like I can go back to like Tekken 3 or any fighting game at all, and I can play it and I enjoy it. I can go to Spider-Man because its gameplay when you're swinging through the skies is just so amazing. There's gameplay, I think
there is people there that do go back to story games over and over again, like they do with a book or they do with a movie or favorite game. You go play the game over and over again. It really depends on your first. I think if you didn't want to play that game again for the first time, going back to it, like if you didn't want to continue, like you're saying, oh, I can't wait to play it again or whatever, you're not going to go back to it eventually. Like I played a couple of games a couple of times, but there's not many that would go back to.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't play too many story games more than once. But like I think story games are probably. I don't mind not playing them more than once. I'm the kind of guy who doesn't watch I have friends that like when they were getting over, when like remember when Game of Thrones was the big thing going forward, like when season 5 was coming out, I knew lads that would go back and watch all the first 4 seasons again to get hyped for season 5. I never did that. Like I kind of watch something, and I'm kind of like that's what I never go back and play a game again to finish off, like for trophies or anything. Usually when I'm finished with a story game, I'm content, and I'm like that was a great story, and I don't expect the new game plus, or I don't expect to go back for another.
I do watch TV series over and over again. I didn't watch Game of Thrones over and over again. It was good, but like,
for me to go back and play a game again that is single player, I would have to kind of agree. I'm kind of agreeing with both of you because the game mechanics are definitely number one. Because the games I do go back to as a storyline that's single player is like the Fallout series, and that's because the game mechanics are so good, and the fact that you can actually, it's not really linear, and you can change it up so much that different things happen every single time you play. That's the kind of game that I might go back and go, listen, I'll play this again, and this time I'll be a bad guy, or this time I'll be neutral, or this time I'll just blow everybody up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the kind of single player game I would play again. But I do love single player games that are linear and have storylines. It's just I just won't play them again. But that's not a bad thing. I still probably give these games 8 or 9 out of 10s. It's just that.
But to be fair, you could probably jump. To be fair, you could probably jump back into any fighting game, and anyone could jump in and enjoy it because it's a challenge at the end of the day, and you're fighting something, and you have a chance to win or lose. And I think that's it. What else was I going to say?
But like,
go on.
If you go back to previous generations, like PS1, PS2, I can go back to those games that relied more on story, some of them, but their gameplay was spot on. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's spot on for you though. The way like the games you love are very much like Ratchet and Clank, and do you know them types of games like Spyro, and you love all that kind of.
Yeah, everybody's different.
Yeah, everybody's different. Like that, I understand it. You're more about the mechanics and everything. Like I just love a good storyline game, but it's not like I don't really like RPGs. I just like normal kind of real stories that you get to be along the part of the journey, if you get me. I suppose the other game is actually, when I think about it, it's probably a PS3 game, but it's still going to stick with it. I played it on PS4, and that is The Last of Us. Like that'd be my favorite game of the last generation, arguably.
That's a great game.
Yeah, it's like it's
the
the story itself, the immersion, the bringing you through the whole game. You really feel really involved through the whole setting. I know let's say a lot of people say they only went halfway through that game. You're missing a lot by not going through the second half of the game. The Last of Us 2 sold on the basis of Last of Us 1. Let's face it. And like might not do that in the third one, but the first one is a fantastic story, and I loved it, and I would play it again. I probably will play it again. I have played it a couple of times, and that's probably one of the only games I have really overplayed the game. And you probably don't like it, Pat.
I actually I thought it was a fantastic game. I really actually enjoyed the online for it.
Yeah,
the online
I never did the online.
Well, I was more back then, like you'd be playing your Medal of Honors, your Call of Duties, and all of them were like super fast paced. And The Last of Us Online was just a breath of fresh air. Everything was so slow. It was so
kept up with your internet.
Yeah, but but it was just so slow. It was so like grounded and gritty, and you had to really think about it in order if you really did want to win. Yeah. So like that's where I saw the gameplay truly shine for The Last of Us.
No, it's definitely one of my favorite. I'm afraid, as I said, I'm afraid to play The Last of Us 2. I will do it, but I'm just afraid for it to ruin the series. Another, the Red Dead Redemption 2, brilliant game as well. I know, Pat, you don't like it. We get it.
I despise that game, so I do so much.
I really don't know why.
The gameplay for it is just, man, the gameplay for that is dreadful. Like, I was recording gameplay,
but it's GTA. It's GTA and horses. I don't get it. What's wrong with it?
I know, it's just the controls for it are like horrendously bad. But like I went and played Uncharted and Red Dead 2 at the same time to get a bit of footage, and like the control wise, it makes like Uncharted 4 polished. Red Dead Redemption 2, it's just.
I don't know. I think I was so used to the GTA controls. I didn't see a difference.
I never had an issue with the controls.
No, I didn't see a difference. I didn't feel a difference. I get like if I went back to Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, that's clunky. But like Like I find the mechanics like GTA and horses. That's what I think anyway. It is like GTA is set in Western times really, but just with a more in depth story, I suppose. Well, no, GTA is a good story. It is GTA and horses for me anyway.
Yeah, suffers
Well, that's the
from
one
a thing a lot. Sorry, Pat.
I'll let you go there, John. You go there.
I was gonna say it does suffer, in my opinion, and like, I love the game. It was my game of the year that year. But it does suffer from a thing a lot of games suffer from. I'd say that The Last of Us, no spoilers here, but The Last of Us 2 suffers from, and a few other games I've played suffers from, is that I feel like they have a need to make the game as long as possible, because I felt like Red Dead Redemption 2 was about 5 or 6 hours too long. The Last of Us 2 is definitely about 5 or 6 hours.
It's because they did that prologue, didn't they? After they did the prologue as well.
The prologue is. It's fun, but the prologue was way too long. The prologue was like 6 hours.
Yeah, but they were connected in the other game, weren't they? That's the only reason they were doing it.
They were, but like again, I don't know how we are with spoilers or anything, but
it's out for 2 years now, dirty, isn't it?
Yeah, but we'll say after the thing happens and you go into the prologue, when it's like, all right, we gotta go down to the lumber mill and pick out the wood to get this house built. It's like, we could just have the house built. We don't need 2 hours of this. Yeah. I need to go to the mayor to get permits so I can go to the bank to God damn.
Yeah, but I kind of felt like they were starting the game again or something, and it kind of felt a bit weird when you're at the end of the game. I agree there with that, but the whole way, like there was a couple of bits where it was like they kept giving money to your man, and he was like, "Oh, you have to do," and it was kind of a big hole in the story. It's like, I don't think all these people would continuously. I've got a plan, Arthur. We're gonna
plan, Arthur. You always have a plan, Dutch.
Dutch, but it's there's been some great games through the whole generation, and it's been great. I suppose it's the end of PS4. It's going to be that look like it's hard to believe that it's going to look like the PS3 to us now. You know, that's a weird one that I always find. It's like it's going to be a Netflix box soon. Well, for me, it will be. Just
before we move off from Red Dead Redemption 2, I do have to say that I'm actually a bit disappointed in myself that I have never finished it.
Yeah,
I can't. Like
it is very long.
It's not. I don't mind the length. Like I
Did you
played
get to the prologue?
Persona, but I got to I'm saying about 30 to 40 hours in, but I couldn't hack the gameplay anymore. The gameplay is like it's really horrendous.
Do you like GTA?
I know. I hate GTA's gameplay as well.
There you go.
Well, why would you go near it then?
Because I enjoyed the original Red Dead Redemption because back then the controls weren't as bad. Now it's a glaring fault for the game. I bet if you go back and played that now, that it'd be worse than the Red Dead now. Do you know if you played the original? Yeah, I say the controls haven't held up too well, but like I say, nostalgia would probably bust me through it. But for Red Dead 2, the controls weren't.
I always in the original Red Dead, I used to love the quick fire. You know, like the quick like that, and turning and boom. And what they used to do Did they have that in that game where you're, you know, if you're standing out fighting each other, what's that called? Drawing on each other, having a duel. That used to be a lot of fun in the original as well.
I couldn't actually pick. You probably asked me on a different day, and I think maybe it's nostalgia, but I don't know which one I prefer because Red Dead Redemption, one of my favorite endings of a game. It's not overly long as well, and I think I would say we'll give Red Dead 2 a 9. I think Red Dead Redemption for me is a 10. Nice. That's literally one of my favorite games.
I'd have to play it again to really like to feel what I did the first time, but it was again, brilliant.
No spoilers for a game that's probably 8 or 9 years old, but one of the like when it happens, I actually was like, cause the game when the thing happens to John Marston, when the barn doors open. And he does the quick fire, and you need to shoot everybody, and then you can't because there's too many, and he gets fucking pulled down. Like, I restarted because I was like, "Oh, I'm after failing the quick time event," so I restarted it, like, hoping that he doesn't die. And then when I realized, like, "Oh no, this is the way it's supposed to be," I was actually heartbroken. I was so freaking heartbroken.
No way. I think that happens in your favorite character. Something happens to them.
I don't think a game has broke my heart more than that game. Legitimately.
No,
honestly.
I suppose not.
Not even Fable 3.
Well, yeah, that broke my heart in a different way. That broke my heart
in the wrong way.
That made me angry. That broke my brain.
That broke me.
Worst goddamn game ever made.
Well, I think we're going to end the show there. But it's been a good show, and everyone, thanks for watching. If you're watching, the whole way through. And anyone watching, please do hit that follow button. We do a podcast every Thursday at 9 o'clock. We do esports here. We do streaming here, right here on Top TV. Pat, where can we find you?
Well, if you want to find me, you can find me over on Twitter, where I go by the handle of Pat Gone Mad with a capital R at the end, because Twitter decides that, like, you know, you can only have so many characters. But apart from that, you can find me on the YouTube, where I'll be putting up the videos. Have one going up on Monday about Grand Blue Fantasy Versus.
Nice.
And I'm around the Facebook community a lot of the time, and even the Discord.
Nice. What's your name again? John.
Phil.
Phil. Ted. Ted.
You can find me at 2O for Gaming. That's TOOOLD for Gaming, all one word. You can find me for content. You can find me on YouTube, allegedly, and Twitch. And you can also find me for my socials. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm starting to post a little bit more on Instagram because I hadn't touched it in about 2 or 3 months. So go to my Instagram. There's actually stuff there now. Yeah.
And if you want to find Ronan, he's the Alpha Fox everywhere. You hit him on his YouTube, all that. It's all the Alpha Fox. I think his Aiden FMC or something like that on Twitch. I can't remember. On Twitter, I can't remember his name. AIDS. It was AIDS. He had to change it, but hopefully they'll be back next week.
Show Onan.
Oh yeah, Show Onan is his podcast as well. So check that out. If you're into anime, and if you just want to find me, you can find me wherever the trop symbol is. I'm like Batman. So wherever you see this symbol, just message and you'll see me. And we'll chat to you next week. Good night. God bless. Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye.
Bye.